Good morning, everybody. It's Monday morning. Welcome to Hacking Self Storage. I'm your host, Dean Booty. And today, what we do is we run through. It's a very special day, by the way. I'll get to that in a minute. But we run through all our weekly numbers. We've got two sites at the minute. One is Beverly 24. It's a mature site. So not many move-ins, not many move-outs. We're always above 90% full. It just runs. And so if I documented the process on that, then it would be pretty boring. But what we've done is we've documented the whole process from Stormore, from we very, very first early days and to where we are now, which is 83.07% full, which is about 35,000 square foot taken at the minute. But it's currently let. And yes, very special day because today we are taking on our Clough Road site. We get it handed over today. Super excited. Got meetings today with Gareth for Sign Company, you name it. I've got meetings all morning, which is really exciting. They planted all nice trees and everything around the exterior, which looks really nice. And so, yeah, I'm really, really excited. And by the way, the feedback we've had so far from customers ringing up and saying, but you open yet? When you open, we want to be a customer. We want to move from our self-storage company we are right now to come to you because you're an ideal location. And so I don't want to put it out there, but basically we're 11,000 square foot. It's going to be over 2 floors. I think we're going to be full in a year, 12, 13 months. I think we will be full. But on my projections, we've done 24 months because you know what? Projections, they're not worth anything if they're not real. If there's a not worst case scenario, but you've got to be realistic. Because there's no point in putting your rose tinted glasses on and thinking, best case scenario, this is where I want to be. This is what's going to happen in 12 months. But is it realistic? You might want it to happen. You might think it's going to happen, but let's make sure that we plan. And I'm the world's worst for in the early days, and God knows how we got through it. But I plan for a sunny day. I don't plan for rainy days. And so now what we do all the time is I plan for rainy days. I plan worst case scenario. And so I know that, yes, I want to be full in 12 months, but I've planned 24 months. It could even be more than that. I've actually put on projections. I'll tell you what, oh no, I can't tell it. I'm just seeing it. I haven't got it open at the minute. But no, I do think it's 24 months that I plan for. No doubt in my mind, even if it's rainy day, I think we can get 85% full in 24 months. But I'm personally aiming for 12 months. But what I want to just get across is that projections, be realistic, make sure it's worst case scenario, because there's no point, not worst case scenario. It's not necessarily worst case scenario, but what you don't want to do, you don't want to be short of money. You don't want to be short of cash flow. So you want to, my mentor always says, plan for best case scenario, worst case scenario, and somewhere in between. So your financial models must be worst case scenario. What is your worst case scenario? Because you need to plan for that financially. What happens if it's worst case scenario? Where are you going to be for funding? Where are you going to get your money from? And you need to know these things, because otherwise you don't want to be stuck having a bill, not being able to pay wages, not being able to pay your rent, etc. So you need to know worst case scenario. You need to know best case scenario, because ultimately it's nice. It's amazing to plan for best case scenario. And then you want to plan for somewhere in the middle. So we've planned for somewhere in the middle. I believe somewhere in the middle is going to be between 12 and 15 months. That is where I believe that we'll be full on Clough Road. Worst case scenario, I believe it's 24 months, especially now we've had such a great response. Anyway, so I'll be documenting the whole process. We'll be opening on January the 5th, I believe it is. So really, honestly, super excited about that. Okay, so last week, how was last week? It was fucking awesome. Absolutely brilliant. In fact, we broke some records. Amount of quotes, here we go. Amount of quotes, 54. So average quotes per day was 7.71. Number of reservations, this is the absolute kicker. 27 reservations. So that is a 50% conversion rate, quotes to reservations. Unbelievable. Something we haven't had before. We haven't had 27 reservations in 1 week before. So I am absolutely over the moon. Number of forward movings was 12. So that's 44%. 44% have signed up for forward movings. That's amazing. So number of new movings was 21. Again, unbelievable. We nearly broke the record for square foot moved in, but I'll get to that in a minute. So conversion rates for quotes to move-ins was 39%. 39%. Let's not forget that we don't have our prices online. Well, we do, but you've got there's behind an information wall. So you need to put some data before you get the information for prices and stuff. So 50% and 39% respectively for reservations and move-ins is spectacular. Awesome work, team. Really, really impressed. So new square foot moved in was 2,210 square foot. 2,210 square foot moved in. Other move-ins, we had 9 other move-ins, so people taking extra rooms, move-in, etc. So that meant that the total move-ins last week was 2,435 square foot. I've been texting JP tonight because I don't have I do have, but it's somewhere in the files and stuff. But we believe, or JP believes, that the most move-ins we've ever had in 1 week is 2,440. That means we're 5 square foot away from the most square foot move-ins ever, over 250 weeks we've been open. We are 5 square foot away from hitting the absolute pinnacle. So that is amazing, especially it's November. It's the 22nd of November when you listen to this. Bizarre, bonkers, incredible, unbelievable. It's just great work for the team. So really, really proud. Number of times the van was rented out. The Transit was rented out 5 times. The Luton, it was rented out 4 times. So 4 times through Luton. Quote breakdown. So Google was 39 quotes. That is 72%. Word of mouth was 4, so that's 7%. Passing by was 5, and that's 9%. Beverly 24 was 2, so that's 4%. Used before was 2, that's 4%. Social media was 1, and that's 2%. Estate agents, removals, and blog was 0. So total square foot moved in, as you already know, 2,435 square foot. Total square foot moved out. I'll tell you after a word from our sponsor. Okay, you ready? It was still quite high. It's very, very high, but it kind of plasters over it because of all the square foot moved in. So square foot moved out was 1,225 square foot. So that for me, it's very, very high, very, very high. But ultimately, we've had a fantastic. I'll tell you what, how far are we? Let's have a look. Yeah, we've had a fantastic month so far. So currently we're 995 square foot up at the minute. So yeah, it's been a great month so far, but still 1,225 square foot moving out is incredible. That is quite a substantial amount. I'm really looking forward to the churn rate this month to see the monthly figures, see what our churn rate is, because I think it'll be quite high again, but we'll see. We'll see what it is. Okay, so that means the net result was 1,210 square foot. So any week where you're 4 figures up is an amazing week, especially when you're a mature facility. Or we're not, excuse me, we're not officially a mature facility because I think a mature facility has to be so many years old, and you can't have done the last expansion within 2 years. And the last expansion was done last year. So was it the start of this year? I think it was. And so we're nowhere near officially a mature site yet. However, 1,210 square foot is a beautiful number. Amount of rooms moved in was 30. Amount of rooms moved out was 16. So we've got 354 internal rooms occupied. Containers in 4, containers out 0. So containers, we've got currently 42 containers rented out. I believe now we've got 52 containers in our car park, which is phenomenal. Really, really good. I was having a word with my dad this morning, and we saw this site. It was a 30,000 square foot building when we first came to Stormore. And to be fair to my dad, I was like, well, should we just take 20,000, share the car park with somebody else? And he was like, no, Dean, I really believe in this. I think we should take 30,000. I think we should take the full building. And I was like, oh, I don't know, Dad. It's a lot of money, 150 grand a year rent. Are you sure? The rates and staff, electric, blah, blah, blah. And ultimately, we took it without that decision. I said today, without that decision, it's a massive decision. And without that, then it would have impacted hugely, because we'd have had to have some sort of pathway or some sort of roadway through for cars to get through, so that they could get to the far side of the building. And so, yeah, I think that there's very, very few important decisions that we make for our business day by day. In a year, you might make 1 or 2 fundamental decisions that really have an impact on the trajectory of a business. And that, my friend, was probably one of the biggest. So I've got to hand it to my old man and say, yeah, well done. That was, if we didn't take the whole 30,000 square foot. I remember at this time, we only had Beverly 24, which was probably producing 50 grand a year profit. That's it. That's all it was producing. And so we took a whopping risk, but without risk, there's probably no reward, especially for me in them days. So yeah, I had to put my house on the line, etc. And I promised a wife I'd never do that again. So yeah, it's risk and reward. And some people, and by the way, there's no, if you don't want to put your house on the line, if you don't want to take big risks, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you do, there's nothing wrong with that as well, as long as you know the ins and outs and your figures, etc. But looking back, I'm thinking, oh my God, that was such a big bet. It was probably a ridiculous bet. It was probably stupid. Well, if you compare our balance sheet to the risk we took, it was ridiculous. It was crazy. And I'm very surprised that the actual landlord took a punt on us anyway. But luckily, we live to fight more days now, and we can use now the foundation of Beverly 24, which is making 130 grand a year, and we can use Stormore, which is making maybe, I don't know, 400 grand a year. And so we can now utilize that cash, and that's our foundation to move forward for expansion. So we're very, very fortunate. But you've got to, at some point in your business, I don't think there's many businesses that get to a very big stage without taking some sort of leap of faith. And I'm not for 1 minute suggesting that you should take a leap of faith, because what's right for me is wrong for you and vice versa. But yeah, I'm a strong believer of you just got to make it work. If you take a leap of faith, then you've got to make it work. And luckily, at the minute, touch wood, it's been very, very fruitful for us. So car parking in, no car parking moved in, 1 car parking moved out. So that means we've got 9 car parking spaces. We're trying to get rid of all them. We don't want really car parkers now because they're paying £20 a week. Get them out, get containers in, or just have the space, because we don't really need them people in. So store occupancy at the minute is 83%, 83.07%. We have added 2 new containers in. We're very, very slim on space now. We can probably get another 6 containers in, but only if we get rid of 6 cars. So it's becoming to the point now where we really are maximizing the land that we've got. So yeah, I don't suppose there'll be many more containers in or anything. But yeah, ultimately we've got more square foot. So it'll be interesting to see how much lettable square foot we've got at the end of the month, because I only get to see that at I can obviously ask for it, but I only get them reports at the end of every month, because ultimately you can get dragged down with KPIs and stuff, and non-important KPIs. Yes, it's important, but the revenue and stuff is more important to me. So I don't need to be checking them KPIs every single week or anything like that. So I check them once a month. Weekly average sales for merchandise was 13.71. So we're about on 25 quid for that. So a little bit down. Insurance sold this week was 125,000, which means that the average sale was 5,952 quid. So anything above £5,000 is good. That's where we want to be hitting, £5,000, the average. I think we've been below that last couple of weeks. So it's nice to be a £6,000, especially when you get 21 move-ins. So we've got £125,000 of insurance that we've sold this week. So here's a big one that I would look for, because I already know all them figures that have just gone through now. I already know them all, or just about. So I want to see what next week, what lies in store for us next week. So we've got 10 move-ins due next week for 930 square foot. And we've got 14 move-outs for 1,250 square foot. I still believe next week's going to be positive. For some reason, I think it's going to be a 500 square foot positive week. So that's what we're aiming for. That's what I'm looking for anyway. Right, let's have a look at the revenue check. How much did we take last week? It was a fantastic week for revenue. For Stormore, I can't remember what it was like for Beverly. I know that next week is incredibly good for Stormore, and it's not fantastically good for Beverly. But as we're going to open up, it never opens up as fast when I want it to. Do you know what? I should have these ready for you. Here we go. Actually, it's it was a good week overall, but Beverly was the champ this week, we took £6,652.01 at Beverly. No bounce direct debits, which is really good for Beverly. Really, really good. Next week isn't so good for Beverly, but you'd expect that when we're taking so much at Beverly. And it's all pro rata, so £6,000 for Beverly is amazing. Stormore, we took £19,280.27 for Beverly. So total, we took £25,932.28. And guess what? Are you ready for it? We had no bounce direct debits in any site. Woo! I can't remember the last time that happened. I don't know if that's ever happened when I've been doing this podcast. No bounce direct debits for both sites. Incredible, especially when, let's have a look, direct debits received. We took 15, 16, 17,000 pound in direct debits and not one penny was bounced. That is incredible. Okay, last thing to talk about, and then I'll leave you guys to it, is the revenue check. So Beverly, we've took 11,000, true period revenue, sorry, is £11,085.29, and we've actually taken £14,694.56. So true period revenue versus actual revenue is £3,000,609.27. Positive. Stormore, not the case, but however, we've got an amazing week coming up on Stormore for direct debit, so I'm sure this will be a positive by the end of the month. Stormore, true period revenue, £59,089.24. Actual revenue is £55,669.48. So we are negative £3,419.76. So there's not really much in it at all. It's 5%, 5% down. So yeah, I expect that to be rectified by the end of this week, and I think we'll be in a positive. I mean, I think we're taking nearly 10 grand in direct debits. Oh, the wife's calling me. Must be the kids in bed. Yeah, I think we're taking 10 grand on Monday in direct debits. So yeah, I'm sure we'll be up there. All right, guys, girls, thank you so much. Got some amazing, honestly, some great episodes. I'm just really, really enthusiastic about the future for this podcast. Not for any particular reason. I just enjoyed the content. I enjoy doing it. And I'm really pleased that it looks like you guys have been listening in your droves. We're having record months, record weeks, and it's amazing. So don't know why you listen sometimes. Obviously, I'm not that professional. I record this in a hoodie. My background's terrible, and so yeah, I'm trying to improve. I will improve. Well, I will get more professional. I can't promise that, but hopefully the background and etc. will get better. And we're going to have an email list and stuff where I can email you some interesting stuff that I found out from my mastermind and stuff, and some links to read and all things like that. So yeah, I'm excited about the future because I just genuinely love this industry. And I really do believe that it can help so many people. It can really make a difference. I mean, I know Blue Self Storage are doing some amazing things with charity. That it's incredible. It really, really is fantastic what they're doing over in Cardiff. Dean and the crew over there are absolutely top class. And we've been now, I think this is the third month now where we're giving 1% of our revenue away to a local charity who want to make a difference. So we're trying to do things like that. But so yeah, we can make a difference locally to charities, etc. But also, there's nothing wrong with making a difference in your own life, and that's what we can do. We can make a real massive difference in our own life. And yeah, I'm just really excited about all the people I've been speaking to recently about when they can start self-storage up. And I just think it's a massive opportunity. This opportunity will not be available in 5-10 years time. It'll still be there, but you'll have to be better at your craft to make a big splash in this industry. And obviously, hopefully, that we'll be at the very, very top pinnacle of the operations in this industry, because I'll listen, I'll learn, and hopefully I can tell you what I learn as well. So, yep, stay tuned. I think it's going to be an awesome 5-10 years. And yeah, watch out. All right, guys, girls, enjoy it. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.